Now, this is a big one. The education question. The bottom line, will a CS degree remain the gold standard, or will faster learning paths like boot camps, online platforms, employer training overtake it? Universities may struggle to keep up with an industry that changes every few months. I don't think that's true. It's tricky. I think the best knowledge does come from a university. I mean, AI is not new. It's been around since, I think, the 50s. It's like the first thing we tried to do with a computer as soon as we had a computer is like, can we make it a human? It's not it's not a new idea. So all the actual theoretical background is, I mean, it's in the universities. You're just not going to get that from a boot camp, right? Because a boot camp gets you up and running to where you can, probably you can use these tools and you can drag and drop and you can do all that stuff. But you don't get any of the deep foundational knowledge that's actually, I mean, when shit hits the fan, do you know how the thing works? Do you have the mathematical background? I don't know. Is math important? I don't know. I think it is. Um, it helps to see how let's say, like, how the math does all this. It's this, magic in a way, right? A 4-year computer science degree has long been the primary ticket into software roles, but that tradition is being questioned. One future, universities remain important but struggle to stay relevant. Degrees stay the default credential, but programs lag behind rapidly evolving needs, hampered by slow curriculum update cycles and bureaucratic approval processes. Students and employers feel academia is disconnected from industry, teaching theory, or outdated practice that doesn't translate to job skills. I think this is true just in the university sense. Like, I don't know, like, what you learn in university seems like it's useless, but it's not. It it helps you when you're gonna go see whatever new thing. You never cover the new thing, but once you have to start from the bottom and learn the foundation of why everything works, and then once you have that, it's really easy to just build on top of that. Because everything is really just a fancy remixing of these core ideas. But yeah, I mean, that's true. Like, it is true in the sense that you can get out of like university, and you have absolutely, like, you have like no idea what people are actually doing. Um, but you have the foundation that will speed you up. Recent grads report never learning about cloud. Yeah, see, yeah, like, yeah, but you know how computers work. You know how networking works. How, let's say, like, how are things encrypted? What's the mathematical background behind encryption? Stuff like that. But you don't learn the actual thing. Recent grads report never learning about cloud computing, modern DevOps, or AI tooling during their degree. If universities demand high time and financial investment while delivering low relevance education, they risk being seen as expensive gatekeepers. But many companies still require a bachelor's degree out of inertia, so the burden shifts to students to fill the gap with boot camps, online courses, and self taught projects. I think that's true. Um, I had that feeling when I got out. Um, when just graduated, I felt like I just needed a boot camp afterwards. I didn't, but you do feel like I know so much, but I know nothing, which is interesting. Student loan debt is enormous, yeah. And companies spend billions training new grads because those grad skills lack skills needed in the workplace. Universities might add an AI ethics class here, a cloud computing elective there, but by the time they implement something, industry tools have moved on. Yeah, but that's kind of that's this thing about like okay, like in more the business sense, everything is just the shiny new tool. And it's like, no, this is the way we do things now. This is elemental force, and we use elemental force for everything. And then, oh no, no, we're gonna use shiny wind, right? And I mean, it's all marketing garbage. It's all it's all stuff that has existed probably since like the 70s, and they just slap on a little label on it, and they rename everything to complicated names, and so you have to like get into their culture and learn what they call everything that has existed. None of it's like brand new, technology that has changed the world. It's like, especially with cloud computing, like all this stuff has existed. It's just the method in which that they serve it is different. They essentially just like create a computer from computers, right? So it's just like an abstraction layer, and then they, again, like they slap on new names to everything, and then make everything complicated, so that they can push out people that are not in that industry, and so then you create like this like in culture, you know, and so then you gotta get like 80 certifications just to like be in the conversation with one of these people, and then you realize like, oh, this is pretty just fucking simple stuff in many ways. All right, so the disruptive scenario. Traditional education gets increasingly replaced by new systems, coding boot camps, online certifications. No, no, no. Online certifications are garbage. I mean, for the most part, I'm sure you can get some good stuff out of it, but I think it's a scam because it's the company that makes the online certifications, and they are led by an incentive that they want to have as many certifications as possible, so that with the smallest amount of, let's call it, density in each certification, right? So you need a certification for like an intro, let's say intro programmer, and then you need like the A programmer, and then you need A plus programmer, and you need the right. And so they want to stack these, so you have to get them sequentially, when really, let's say like six of these certifications could just be comprised into just one thing, and you don't need to spend $200, $500 on each, plus maybe even the classes that a lot of them provide, which is like $2,000 per course. You don't need any of this shit. You just don't. So I don't think that will work. I don't. Coding boot camps, online certifications, self-taught portfolios, employer-created training academies. No, they employer-created training. They only care about themselves. They want you to just specialize on the one thing that they sell, and you're not going to be a programmer. You're going to be a salesperson. Many high-profile employers like Google or IBM have dropped degree requirements for certain technical roles. Yeah, I mean, certain, right? Like, um, in 2024, nearly 45% of companies plan to eliminate bachelor's degree requirements for at least some positions. And the demand, I guess probably the demand is high, and also you want to keep costs low, so you want to hire somebody that doesn't have you can pay people without the degree less. They would probably take less, and so you want to save money on those. um it's gonna bite them in the ass, you know. All right, boot camps have matured. Boot camps are probably good. I don't know. Just do 30 projects. It's boot camps, I think, maybe not by themselves. I think you still need the foundational knowledge, but they're definitely good. I've considered doing a boot camp because they give you some of those working skills. Boot camps have matured. They produce grads who get hired at top companies alongside CS grads. These programs are shorter, 12-week intensive, and focus on practical skills, current frameworks, cloud services, teamwork. The hiring currency is shifting towards life portfolios, micro credentials, fuck that, and verified skills. A strong GitHub portfolio or recognized certification can bypass degree requirements. Yeah, I mean, if you have a good portfolio, a good GitHub portfolio, yeah. But I don't know. Micro credentials, I don't know about that. Employer-driven education is emerging. That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. They just throw you on like 20 YouTube videos or Udemy videos, and that's your university training, right? Employer-driven education is emerging. Companies creating their own training pipelines or partnering with boot camps. Some big tech companies have started internal universities for non-traditional candidates. AI itself offers new ways to learn. AI tutors, interactive coding sandboxes, personalized instruction outside university setting. A modular ecosystem of learning is far more accessible than expensive four-year degree. A kid in a country without strong CS universities can take the same Coursera courses and build the same portfolio as someone in the Silicon Valley. Okay, there's a problem with this, right? Let me see. Coursera. I've never tried Coursera. It's probably decent. It looks pretty decent. The problem with these kind of things, though, that I've seen is that for some reason online education is like in a forever print hello world state. Everything is extremely simple and dumbified, right? Like, it's like everything has become content in the sense that you want it to be interesting and fun. And I used to like that, in the sense that, yeah, like, why does, let's say, like, university coursework have to be, like, boring or presented into, like, in this, like, weird, like, like in it reminds me of SpongeBob, where he says, like, "Ooh, a book, no pictures, just the way I like it," right? Like, does it have to be to that extreme where it's like we're trying to weed people out and create this super tiny text in this, like, not what do you call it, like, non-personal tone, and a very, very strong, like, mathematical type tone, right, where you speak like someone from like an Englishman from the 1600s. Do we need that? I don't know. Can we make it a little more personable? Maybe crack a joke here and there. I don't know. But what happens with video coursework is that it everything's like just too simple. Everything's like for a kindergartner. Um, and sure, you can find stuff online. Like if you go, let's say like Google Scholar, there's definitely stuff on there that, I mean, it's super difficult and rigorous. But when it comes to the videos that people are making or the kind of content that you can find, let's say on like Udemy or YouTube, it's always it's always for like the person that it seems like for the person that has never seen a computer before. And that makes it's like no matter how deep you go, it's like nobody's covering um the deep material, the hard material, the the heavy mathematical material. Everything is like, I don't know, print, and this is a variable and this is an integer and this is a float, and we just have too much of that content, and it's just that's not. You need more. You need more than that. What to do about it? Aspiring junior developers. If in a traditional CS program, don't rely on it exclusively. I think that's true. Yeah, that's like the bare minimum. Um, Augment coursework with real world projects. Build a web app. Contribute to open source. Seek internships or co ops. If your curriculum misses hot topics, learn them through online platforms. Okay, well, you know what I just said. Earn industry recognized certifications, GCP, AWS, Azure, to signal practical knowledge. Um, if self teaching or in a boot camp, focus on a compelling portfolio, at least one substantial project with good documentation. I mean, I feel like that's just going to be AI, right? Be active in the developer community. Contribute to open source. Write technical posts. Network through LinkedIn. Fuck LinkedIn. This guy. This guy. No. Network through LinkedIn. I mean, that's a whole nother topic, right? Jesus. Network through LinkedIn, meetups, dev events. Get an experienced developer to vouch for you. Keep learning continuously. The half life of technical skills is short. Use AI as your personal tutor. I think that's good. If you want to use it as a tutor, but it's gonna gaslight you. Um, yeah. Prove your skills in concrete ways. Portfolio, certification, and abilities to talk intelligently about your work will open doors. Senior developers and leaders. Your credentials alone won't carry you forever. Invest in continuous education, online courses, workshops, conferences, certifications. Validate your skills in new ways. I think conferences is good. I've seen a lot of conference talks. I've been to like one conference, but it was kind of crap. Um, Especially really like tech focused, where it's like just developers, not like the business side per se, that they're pushing like a new product, but actually developers. They cover amazing stuff, and they can really open up your eyes or to like new things or cool things that people are doing. Validate your skills in new ways. Be prepared for interviews that assess current competency through real problems. Maintain side projects with new tech. Reassess job requirements. Do you really need a new hire to have a CS degree, or do you need certain skills and learning ability? Push for skills first, hiring to widen your talent pool. support internal training programs, or apprenticeship style roles. Champion mentorship circles for junior devs without formal backgrounds. Engage with academia and alternatives, advisory boards, guest lectures, feedback on curriculum gaps. Reflect this in your own career growth. Real world achievements and continuous learning matter more than additional degrees. The through line. These scenarios aren't mutually exclusive. Reality will draw elements from all of them. Some companies will reduce junior hiring while others expand it in new domains. AI will automate routine coding while raising standards for the code humans touch. Developers might spend more mornings reviewing AI outputs and afternoons crafting high level architecture. The consistent thread. Change is the only constant. By keeping a finger on technology trends and skepticism around them, you avoid being caught off guard by hype or doom. By updating skill, diversifying abilities, and focusing on uniquely human aspects like creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, you remain in the loop. Whether the future brings a coding renaissance or a world where code writes itself, there will always be demand for engineers who think holistically, learn continuously, and drive technology towards solving real problems. The best way to predict the future is to actively engineer it. Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, um, I don't know. I think, this is a lot of like, it's all right. I feel like it's a lot of business. I don't know, messaging. Really, a lot of linked. I don't know, LinkedIn and championing and cross pollination and everybody needs to love each other, which is not a bad thing. I mean, just slightly disagree, I guess.